And virtually 100% of us, by the time we reach our 70s, will have microscopic cancers growing in our thyroid. Yet without a blood supply, most of these cancers will never become dangerous. Once called this cancer without disease.
Dr. William Li, a distinguished Harvard-trained medical doctor, researcher, and the president and founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation. His groundbreaking work has contributed to the development of over 40 FDA-approved therapeutics and devices targeting cancer, cardiovascular disease, wound healing, and vision loss. Dr. Li is also a New York Times best-selling author, having written Eat to Beat Disease. We will explore 3 key beverages, beyond water, that Dr. Li often highlights in his seminars and talks.
Number 1, stay hydrated, because dehydration actually makes everything in your body work harder. And so if you want your food to work for you, you actually want to make sure your body has enough water content to be able to keep. Number 2, I would say eat what you like, but make sure that most of what you eat falls in the category of what we call plant-based foods. Third, I would say to the extent possible, avoid ultra-processed foods. The other thing that I would actually say that would be really helpful is to try to avoid foods with added sugars whenever you can. And the 5th thing I would actually say is that I want to come back to beverages for a second. You know, besides water, there's 2 other beverages that I think are go-tos for health. And one is tea. Could be green tea, could be oolong tea, could be black tea. And the other one is coffee. Remarkably, you know, water, tea, and coffee are the go-tos for beverage and health. Now, what you add to them can make a big difference.
The first tip emphasizes the importance of staying hydrated, while the final recommendation focuses on selecting beverages that contribute to overall health. Now, let's explore 3 drinks, aside from water, that Dr. William Li personally enjoys and often highlights in his. Let's start with the first drink, green tea.
Green tea especially has a natural polyphenol that's called catechins, EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. And the catechin is actually just part of the natural substance in the tea leaf. So whether you're brewing tea with a bag or whether it's loose leaf tea or whether it's matcha, which is just powdered tea leaves, the fact of the matter is that into the brew, into the liquid, hot liquid, comes all these phytochemicals, including these catechins. So when you sip straight tea, the catechins go right in. They're easily absorbed by your body. And so, you know, our blood levels of catechins go way up. So many things that catechins can do. One of the things that's important is actually it's a relaxant. It actually helps lower your stress.
Many of you may also enjoy black tea. Is black tea any good?
Green tea will increase your stem cells, but guess what? So can black tea. You know, people in Asia drink a lot of tea. People in Britain drink a lot of tea as well.
Yeah.
We used to say green tea is good, black tea is fermented, so it's not going to be that good for you. We're changing our minds. We have to keep our minds open. Black tea can also double the number of stem cells.
Now let's consider adding milk to your tea. Does milk affect the absorption of the bioactive components in tea?
In England, or in Ireland, you actually put some milk or cream into your tea. It actually changes the flavor profile, and it's lovely. I've had plenty of teas in England before. I find it to be just such an incredibly nice. Put dairy in it. Here's what you need to know: dairy, and I'm talking about cow dairy, right? So not nut milk. This applies to cow dairy. We'll come back to the nut milk in a second. Cow dairy, okay, actually is fat. Milk has got fat in it, like butter, which is made out of milk. And the fat, when you put it into your tea, does change its flavor, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that when milk or cream is put into tea, the fat molecules in the cow dairy form little soap bubbles. These are microscopic soap bubbles. They're called micelles. Fat likes to stick with fat. Tea is mostly water. And so when you pour milk into tea, the dairy fat sticks together and makes a little tiny soap bubble. And what does it do? Those soap bubbles trap the polyphenols from tea. It traps the catechin.
If you find it difficult to give up the flavor of milk in your tea, there is an alternative.
I had this discovery that might be useful for your listeners who are in exactly that situation where they like the taste of milk in their tea. I discovered there is something called milk tea. It's actually from Taiwan. It's grown in the mountain, and it's just pure tea leaves that when you brew it, it tastes like it's got dairy in it.
He is referring to a native Taiwanese green tea known as Jinxian tea, also called milk oolong tea. This variety has a distinct milky flavor, referred to as Naixiang or milk oolong, allowing you to enjoy the health benefits of green tea while experiencing a subtle milk-like taste. The second beverage that can contribute to a longer, healthier life is coffee.
And I'm having breakfast, and I thought I would actually share with you what I'm having. Here's some coffee. Coffee's got chlorogenic acid, which is actually good for your metabolism. It also activates your health defenses, anti-androgenic, anti-inflammatory. I love coffee. A study was published in the journal Annals of Internal Medicine of 171,000 people in their 50s living in the United Kingdom, and it showed that those who drank 2 to 3.5 cups of coffee per day had a 30% lower risk of all-cause mortality. That means death from any cause.
From our discussion, it's clear that coffee offers numerous health benefits. But the question arises, is organic coffee even more beneficial?
Organic coffee has more chlorogenic acid than conventionally grown beans. Chlorogenic acid, which helps to repel insects as well. An organic coffee bean has 3 times as much chlorogenic acid.
The third food worth considering is chocolate, specifically cacao.
Cacao or chocolate. It turns out that studies have been done where if you take chocolate with high flavanols and make a hot chocolate out of it, and you drink it just twice a day, 2 cups a day, for 30 days. You can start by measuring your stem cells, and this is from 16 subjects, and you can make the stem cell levels. This is 2 cups of hot chocolate, of high flavanol hot chocolate, just twice a day. By the way, all of these patients had cardiovascular disease. They had documented blockages in their arteries in their heart, and they could get more stem cells going. That is a small study, but really, really interesting to think about. If you take the really dark chocolate, like 73% cacao, the really dark chocolate, and you make it into a high flavanol hot chocolate drink, and you have it twice a day. This was the clinical study. They found in people who wound up actually drinking the hot chocolate twice a day over the course of a month, they doubled the number of stem cells compared to the people who didn't drink hot chocolate.
Dr. William Li concludes with a crucial insight about the benefits of chocolate.
Chocolate is a confection. Like if you get a Milky Way bar or 3 Musketeers, I mean, like Halloween candy, all right, that's a confection. It's got all kinds of stuff and actually not that much real cacao. But get a bar, which you can find in almost any grocery store now, that's 80% or higher chocolate, cacao. Now you're talking about essentially something that's mostly plant-based, because that's what cacao is. It gives you dietary fiber. It gives you polyphenols from the chocolate. And we've done some research that was presented at the American Society of Nutrition's annual meeting that showed that the stuff in dark chocolate can cut off the blood supply feeding cancers. It's anti-inflammatory. And we actually tested with leukemia cells, for example, and it directly is toxic to leukemia cells. It kills leukemia cells.
However, there's one beverage he strongly advises against: alcohol.
What can injure stem cells? High doses of alcohol can damage and blunt your stem cell. The thing is, on balance, people who drink a lot have damaged stem cells. Diabetes is another state, a metabolic state that, it really impairs, it cripples our stem cells. High blood sugar cripples our stem cells. So the excess of anything can be harmful, including to our stem cells.
While some may think alcohol aids in sleep, scientific research shows otherwise.
What are you drinking for dinner? All right. Ironically, even though people say you drink wine or beer, alcohol makes me sleepy. It can make you sleepy, but actually, when you actually have booze in your system, you never actually get good, deep sleep. The alcohol in your brain actually doesn't allow you to go dive deep. So you kind of a little bit near the surface. You're restless. You're not getting full renewal sleep. And so that's why, it's important just to recognize that among other reasons you want to control alcohol intake, cut down or cut out, it will interfere with your sleep.
Thank you for joining us on this journey to uncover the powerful health benefits of green tea, coffee, and cacao. Remember, small changes in your daily routine can lead to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could benefit from these life-changing tips. For more insights into health, nutrition, and wellness, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest content.